Trail Seeker Adventures loads up the e-bike and meet my good friend Bob at West Virginia Mountain Bike Association Round 1 2023. The race to Lil Moe's in Phillipi, West Virginia. It was a cold, wet, muddy April day, but that didn't stop the riders from coming out and tackling the track. After my race, I did get out and get some video of other riders. I'll sprinkle that throughout this video. If you race the event, make sure you stay and see if you can find yourself ripping up the track. And yes, I did say e-bike. This is the first time the West Virginia Mountain Bike Association had a class for the e-bikes. Enough of that, let's get right into it. I take off and my little legs is going as fast as I can. By the time the signal got to my brain, I was shifting the wrong way. I was at the back of the pack. There was 14 in this e-bike row, and now I have a long ways to make up. And yes, I have one black glove and one blue glove. More about that later. As I was saying, this is the first year that the e-bike was allowed to line up at the West Virginia Mountain Bike Association event. And the way it works is the expert class goes first, and I believe there's a 15-minute wait, and then the e-bikes take off second. The expert class has their own route, and the e-bike will be following the sport loop. Looks like I'm currently set in 8th. We're getting ready to drop down into the woods. My good friend Bob is up in 3rd at this point. Currently there's only 2 classes for the e-bike. They both start on the same row. It's a men's class and a woman's class. I made a couple passes, worked my way up to 6 right behind B Thorn. Trying my best to get around him, but he says, no, you're not getting around me unless you earn it. And at this point, I'm just trying to catch my wind because I haven't done nearly anything for the past 6 months. From getting a new ACL, from getting some rods and screws removed from my back about 5 weeks ago. This is my opportunity to get out and try to get some exercise. Seems like we're all kind of moving a little slow, and that's probably because this class, as I said, is the men's class, and it doesn't matter whether you're 13 years old like Levi, which is right behind me, or if you're Moses' first cousin Gunner, which is leading the pack at 61. But most of us is 50s or 40s. I myself is in the 54 range. As I go down and Levi checks on his elders and asks if I was okay, I jump back up. No time to cry about having bent bars and a vine wrapped around my front tire. I've got to get going and try to catch up with my good friend Bob. I'll be getting the camera cleaned off soon as things slows down and I can start breathing again. And speaking of Bob, that's his water bottle laying right there in the middle of the trail because he just got done getting back up off the ground. The crazy thing about where I wrecked, as I said earlier, we were able to come out the weekend before the race. Got to come out here and ride the trail, and I only went down in one spot. Yep, exactly where I went down during the race. You would think this old dog would learn new tricks, but absolutely no chance of that. That's Levi, the young gun of the bunch, looking good on a Joey's Bike Shop Giant. I have a Giant, but it's first gen. It's about 5 years old. I'm pretty sure the battery probably would not last, so I decided not to bring out my Giant. It is due to be upgraded. I'm trying to work my way back up through the crowd. Somebody makes a little goof up. I'm about to do the same thing. Gets me set up for an awesome pass. On two of my competitions. Back up on Bob's tail. Looks like he might have missed a shift. And now I'm back up on B Thorn.
I went down.
This is where we'll actually start our second lap. Well, not actually start. We'll come back onto the trail right here. I'm going to get you a full lap up to that point to where we started our second lap. This video is going to be a little long. I was going to cut some of it out, but I thought, you know, somebody, if they race the race, if they want to check out the trail or show their family or friends the trail, I'm just going to do a complete first lap. If you guys get bored, you can fast forward. But this is the trail, the Lil Moe's trail over in Phillipi, West Virginia. I actually work at a tower on top of the mountain and seeing the trail. But I did not realize that the trail was this nice. If you're in this area looking for a bike trail to come out and ride your mountain bike, this trail is a awesome choice. And then once you're done, make sure you head over to Lil Moe's. Last weekend was the first time I've been on this trail, and also the first time I ever tried Lil Moe's as I work my way around B Thorn. I caught him sleeping, trying to get a drink of water, and I was able to get around him. I'm going to go ahead and skip a little bit further ahead after I cleaned off the camera. Didn't really miss much at all. But make sure you go down and check out Lil Moe's. I got Philly chicken. It was awesome. My good friend Bob got a nice looking salad. Make sure you support your local restaurants. Joey actually was able to, this is a Fantic that I got from T-Bone and Earl. Elkins Motorsports also sells the Fantic bike. This is the base model, the 1.5. But Joey was able to put a new chain, new cassette, tuned it up, and it worked absolutely awesome. Never missed a gear all day. As I said, it was muddy conditions. Everybody was out slipping and sliding, not only on the trail but also in the parking lot.
I dropped my chain like twice in 10 feet in the last 2 miles, and I lost like 5 positions.
I am currently third, and actually this is where I stayed the rest of the day. Made several passes, just mostly because I'm on a e-bike, but nobody passed me the rest of the day. Both Bob and B was on my tail the entire day, but Levi, the young gun, snuck up, and he wasn't too far behind B. Got around my friend Bob, but it was a great day to come out and ride. And the reason why I have one black glove and one blue glove, I actually got called out for work. Didn't think I was going to make it to the track. I get here, they was already lined up. Actually, the expert class had already taken off for their race. And I talked to the guy at the start and said, hey, I'm late. I was going to run the e-bike class. Could I at least go in behind everybody and ride behind them? And he said, well, what class are you riding? And it was the class that was next to take off. He said, we can go. We'll get it taken care of for you. And I run back to the truck. Couldn't find my other glove. This is the only glove I could find. So I thank them for letting me ride. This was a tricky little spot. You could not rush that little creek crossing. There was a deep hole on the right. I'm sure some people caught it. Now we're getting in some nice little rock section, which I did not know this trail was going to be as technical until I was able to come out and ride it with my good friend Bob the week before. I ran it, came out and rode it Saturday, and then nobody was able to come out Sunday with me, so I came back out and rode it again Sunday. And you'll see here soon, I was glad I did, because the promoters came out and put up the signage, because the beginners has their own course, the expert has their own course, and us sports have our own course, and you have to read the signs, and they're a little tricky, but once you figure out what they mean, you kind of know where to go. But that's going to bite B. He's right on my tail right now. I'm trying to shake him, I can't do it. But once we get up here, the sign says sport, second lap. And I did the same thing on Saturday. I thought that meant sport. That's the sport course. But it meant sport on your second lap will go that way. But you'll see B gets suckered over there. And I think that might not have been the only time B got a little confused on the signage. And I'm kind of glad he got a little confused, because I think I only beat him by a minute. And if he was actually knowing where he was going, I probably would have had a hard time keeping him behind me. But it's nice that the promoter comes out. I don't know if they do it at every race, but the weekend before, put out the course so you can come out and see where you need to go for the following week for the race. Here I actually look back to see if B's right behind me, and I run off track. Need to race ahead of me. But these little rocky technical sections, I really like those. So at this time, Gunner is out front, which is no surprise to anybody. And then I believe Robert Stakey is second. I'm third. Ralph Thorne is fourth. I believe at this point Bob is right behind B, and Levi's behind him. But by the end of the day, Levi is able to catch up, get around Bob, and that's pretty much the way we finished in the top 5. There was a female class. I believe there was only one in the female class, so if you have an e-bike and you want to get out and hit some of these trails, that's a good way to get out and do it. My wife just had surgery herself, so hopefully once she gets healed out, I can get her out here on the trail. I've ran the West Virginia Mountain Bike Association non-plug-in bike in the past, and my problem is I'm way too anxious to get going. I wear myself out in the first half of the race, and I can't hardly talk at the end of the race. The e-bike kind of allows me to go a little faster pace and not kill myself throughout the day. I'm not smart enough to manage my pedals throughout the day. I'm used to racing dirt bikes and four-wheelers. This trail system basically loops back and forth on itself. It doesn't cover a lot of area, it just goes back and forth. You can constantly see where your competition is. unfortunately, I never saw Gunner from once we hit the woods. He was gone. I thought I saw, I believe it was Robert that was in second a couple times on the switchbacks, but I'm not even 100% sure that it was him. The expert class is in front of us somewhere. Pretty sweet little rocky technical sections. But I'm just loving life. So glad that I was able to get out here and actually race. I would have been okay with just being a course marshal and doing cleanup, but at that, you really can't get a good workout, and at this point, that's what I need. I need a good workout to get my lungs back in shape. We're coming up to where the sign, the first switch, this is for sport. It says sport only, lap 2.
It says sport lap 2.
Yeah, that's not, isn't it?
No, that's the second lap.
And B was heading that way, and he's been on my tail the whole time. I couldn't shake him. I don't remember actually stopping and having a conversation with him. I thought I just said it as I was moving, but I was able to get a little bit of a gap on him. And actually after that, I think I stayed a little bit away from him. I was wanting to stop and try to straighten these bars up because they're a little tweaked. And about this point, my shoestrings came untied on my left side. I wanted to stop, at least throw my shoestrings inside my shoe, but I wasn't going to do it because I didn't want Mr. Thorne to catch me. And I think that paid off, because talking to him after the race, I think he got lost or got off track a couple times again, to where if he was right on my tail, I may not have been able to stay in front of it. So here I'm pedaling my little heart out, trying to get a gap off of B. Hoping my shoestrings don't get wrapped around my pedal. After the race, I checked my heart rate. It was 180, which it hasn't seen 180 for a very long time. My legs and stuff was feeling pretty good. I could definitely feel my lungs burning. Hopefully I can get out. The weather's now getting to be pretty nice outside. I haven't been able to run for a full year. It was about this time last year when I tore my ACL on my dirt bike. I limped through the whole summer, and I believe it was October or somewhere I got my ACL replaced. And while I was down, I decided I had rods put in my back in 2014. They've been bothering me ever since they put them in there. So I went ahead and got them taken out. I hope to get out there and get in a little better shape so I can stay a little further in front of B.
That ain't no fun.
Anybody coming up behind me?
No, you're good, bud. Take your time. Almost there, bud. Good job. Nice job. Looking good. Almost there. Looking strong, looking strong. Going to make it, going to make it.
So the video that I was taking after the race was not too far from the start or the finish, and I was trying to, encourage them. They're doing good, but I don't know if you noticed, they weren't too talkative. I think they were just too tired to even worry about something getting out in the woods with the camera. But I probably would be the same way. It's funny, you get an e-bike, and the reason I bought an e-bike is because during a motorcycle race weekend, you're able to get out and go out and look at the track that you're going to race, but you're only allowed to do it on a bicycle, and an e-bike is a bicycle. So we go out and we pre-ride the track. It's usually about 12 miles, and so that's a long ways to pedal a normal bike, and you don't want to wear yourself out. So I buy me an e-bike, I go out, enjoy it, and when you go back to a regular bike, it's like somebody set the brake, emergency brake, and it just feels different. So don't go to an e-bike if you ever want to keep enjoying your normal bike. So right here is a switchback. Me and Bob went straight out on the weekend before, so I think Joey said he put that log up. I look down and I see Mr. Thorne coming up. He's not too far back. I think Bob said he missed the turn and went on up to the hospital a little ways. And I think Bob got around him, but then B got back around him. So I know how he feels. But yeah, I would definitely highly recommend come out and pre-ride the track if that's available at your next event. But Heidi and I, we ran a normal bike. Oh, here's one of those spots that you gotta make sure you look ahead. Sunday I came out and I thought that trail went on up the road, up the creek bottom, but it turns hard right, and on a e-bike and a normal bike also. You gotta look ahead and downshift before you get to a location like that. Sunday I had to jump off the bike, push it up the hill, and you definitely can lose a lot of time. So that's another reason why it's handy to get out and pre-ride the trail. Well, Heidi and I, we've ran regular bikes for many years up in Davis, and they're good fun. And I'm hoping to get back on one. I know Bob said he's got a hardtail. The next event does not have an e-bike class, so he's going to run his hardtail, and I hope to. The deer goes bouncing by, wondering what all the commotion's about. I hope to get out and get my non-plug-in bike, get some miles on that thing to try to get myself in better shape as well. Two things on this day I had to manage. One was me not to overdo it, breathe too hard, too soon, but also your battery. You have to manage the battery because a e-bike when it goes dead, it is a lot worse than a regular bike because you're also turning the motor. There's another turn off. That would be where the beginner's course would jump off. You got to manage the battery. I was able to go pretty much full the entire day. Here's a technical little rock section. Mostly just got to maintain your speed up through there. Make sure you don't bust a tire. But at the end of the second lap, I was definitely a little concerned. I was down to just a bar and a half. Thought I had my competition covered. I get back up there to where there's some switchback, and I look back, and sure enough, there's Mr. Thorne, my friend Bob. They're right on my tail. If you're in West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and you're wanting to go out and race your mountain bike, make sure you check the website and the Facebook page of the West Virginia Mountain Bike Association. I have nothing but good things to say about them. They were very helpful. Me coming in late, I know that's not something they typically allow. I was on call, so actually I think my friend Bob emailed him. Okay, here's another one. That's another split that you had to pay attention. I didn't really have to read it because I already did it the weekend before my pre-ride. But yeah, Bob emailed him and said, hey, a friend of mine's on call for work, he might get there a little late. So they was kind of aware of my situation, and once I got there, they hooked me up. But that's not something they normally like to have. They like to be signed up before you get to the track. It just makes it easier on them and everybody involved. But they were super cool.
Hey!
So right up here on the left, you saw a guy come back the other way. I think that's second place. I wasn't 100% sure. I said, hey. I don't know that he said anything back. But that was one thing that was kind of cool about this trail. It looped back and forth, and you get an idea how far your competition is in front of you or how close they are behind me. So now I'm looping back, and I'm heading back the direction he was coming. And you'll hear me holler at B and Bob. And that way you know how close they are to me.
Bob!
this is the first video you watch of ours, we are Trail Seeker Adventures. We bring our camera, we take it out on the trails, and as the name says, we seek trails. We are trail seekers to bring those trails back and get them on the YouTube so you can see if that's a trail you're interested for you or your friends. We do everything from race dirt bikes at race events. Also now this is a mountain bike race event. We've been up to Blackwater Falls on some of those trails up there. We've been in Davis back to Moon Rock. We have several mountain bike videos, hiking videos. We've been at Hatfield McCoy's just so you can see what the trails are like before you even get off the couch and load your bike.
Excuse me.
This is Mandy.
Thank
She's having
you.
a bad day.
Thank you. I bent my bars.
She messed up her derailleur, only had a gear or two the entire day. That would make for a long day. Luckily, she knows a guy that works at Joey's bike shop. He can set her right up. If you like looking for trails and seeing what's in West Virginia, we've been out west, some of the trails, Troom Motorcycle Park, Hatfield McCoy's. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your cool friends, both on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
You got a little muddy.
Where's your number?
It's a muddy one.
The thing is, you know how you go.
No, it's just like that.
The sign that says Pro Expert started at lap 2. They were sitting with that. He was in front of me. Yeah! Good job, Ryan.
I'm going to be quiet and let you enjoy the trail a little bit. Only a few other things that I need to mention throughout the video. I'll bring them to your attention as we go through, but what an awesome time out here in the woods. I believe this switchback here is the last time I seen B and Bob. We're almost to the top of the hill. Once we get to the top of the hill, the fun really begins. He's able to really rip down the other side. And I thought I had a really good lead on both of them, but on the second lap, coming up right before the finish, I was able to look back, and sure enough, they were right there. Sometimes you're out here racing yourself. You're just trying to keep yourself motivated. You don't see nobody in front of you, you don't see nobody behind you, but sure enough, they're either right in front of you, just a turn or two away, or right behind you. So you got to keep yourself motivated and keep on pedaling.
Thank you. brother. Hey! What's up, wild man?
Again, buddy.
Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah, I know.
We're at the top of the mountain. To the right is the cell site tire that I work with. And this is really the only part of the trail I've seen other than when it crosses the site road, entrance road down here. I've seen this trail. It really didn't look that interesting, but boy was I wrong. What a fun trail this is. I will be out here many times throughout the next summer, hopefully getting my butt in shape for the next e-bike race. I believe the next e-bike race will be at Cooper's Rocks. We go out here, we cross the landowner's driveway, and then the fun begins. Not sure if you noticed, to the left is a beautiful view of downtown Phillipi. You get out on the trails, you see the woods, you see things that a lot of people don't see. It's one of the things I love getting out. Heidi and I go to Ohio Powell, different places, see some awesome waterfalls. This is so good to get out and enjoy the trails.
yo. Yeah. Anything? But probably. All right. Thanks for your help, man. All right. Bye. Yo. This is the promoter there on the right. I was out here Sunday and realized that I needed downshift coming through here. It's a nice little rock section. Did awesome on Saturday and Sunday, but for some odd reason I thought the trail went to the left. Well, it does not. This is the second time I had to get off my bike, get up, get going, all out of whack, whacking my pedals off the rocks. Right there. Got jacked up. I had an expert that was behind me. I don't think he was close enough for me to screw him up, but that's one thing I definitely do not want to do is mess somebody else up that's behind me. I'll pull it together and I get going, but for some odd reason on practice day I hit that line perfect, but when it comes race day I just wasn't looking up far enough, and for some odd reason thought the trail went left, and it did not. Fun.
Up above. Thanks, man.
Alrighty, we're back to where B first messed up. This is the trail that he would have went on if he would have went the wrong way. We actually come down through here. We'll stay left. There's another sign down here where we go for our second lap. And if you're done with your second lap, you have to go right to go to the finish line. So it can get a little confusing. We are actually now behind some of the beginners because their course was not as long as the sport or the experts. So we're coming up on some of the beginner riders that are coming down to finish their race.
Woof. Excuse me. Excuse me.
So this is if you were on your second lap. I think the beginners, I don't know if they did 2 laps, but I'll go left here to go start my second lap. This is expert and sports second lap. We go left, the beginners, and then our second lap we would have went right to go down to the finish line.
Hey.
Coming out above the pits, we'll be crossing the road that we came up at the beginning. And then we'll actually get back on the trail that you've already seen. And that's going to be the end of the video. I sure appreciate if you watched a video this long. Evidently you're into mountain biking or very bored. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to Trail Seeker Adventures. Make sure you like and share with your cool friends. You can go to YouTube, Trail Seeker Adventure, subscribe. We'll wait till the end of this video. You'll be able to hit the logo in the middle of the page, or if you're on a mobile device, you can hit the little red icon at the bottom right hand side. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I can see you at the next race.